hit some jackpots, which really help out. Okay, you can see my trade routes starting to take shape too. These dashed lines are my trade routes that my civilians are going to concentrate on. That's good. You can see some of them in the other empires as well. Let's take a quick look. Who do we have free trade agreements with, and how are they going? We have free trade agreements with the Garn and with the Shandar, and we're getting 6K income from the Garn. So far, nothing from the Shandar right now. I'm not exactly sure what that percentage is. Let's see if we can find out. Maximum cap of 20%. That's what it is. A treaty outlining the free trade between two parties. This means that each party receives trade bonuses, a gradually increasing percentage of trade volume that is paid to each empire up to a maximum cap of 20%. So we are capped out at our trade with those two empires right now. And we actually have 6K income showing from the Garn. The Shantar's probably too busy right now fighting off the pirates, because they'd been battling back and forth with the same pirate faction that we are. Okay, we should have all our troops landed, and we're going to go ahead and see if we have enough troops now to knock out this hidden pirate base. Open that, go to the Facilities tab, and attack. And I really need to get armored... my armored just a second, let me get this. I need to get my armored assault troops up and running, I think. Okay, we got the frigate done, so we're going to go ahead and send that frigate. As soon as it lets me select it. It's not letting me do anything with it. It is mine. Okay, we're going to send the construction ship to refuel, I guess. Get this out of the way. Or is this a different location? No, that's where we've been doing all of the work. Where'd the Devastator go? Okay, we have a problem here. Do we have a problem here? I think we might have a problem here. There was still 240 unbuilt components on that Death Star thing. But it's not here any longer. There's no way he could have finished that. That's the people that were trying to finish it. It's gone. Got a lawful trait on our intelligence agent. That doesn't sound good. What does lawful do? -10 to espionage, +10 to counter espionage, and -10 to sabotage. That's not good. That's the guy that's doing all my espionage, and he's got a penalty to espionage now. Oh no! Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't have him doing anything in the first place. Never mind. I did mean to do that. I'm going to temporarily put him back on counter espionage, actually, because I'm wondering what happened to the Death Star. Construction ship's still here. The Death Star has just disappeared. And there's... What faction is that? Dark Salvage. I'm sure that there were 237 damaged components. 89 ships with... He might have completed it. He's got 4,000 firepower on only 89 ships. That could be... grind. Grind. Although, I have a fairly... my own defined play style where I play very few hands, but the hands that I play, I try for big hands with big pots. You know, nut flush type hands with and win big pots with them. Full houses with big pots. I also play all the games. I play limit, no limit. The only one I don't play is pot limit Omaha. I don't play a lot of that just because it's such a the variance on that game is so high. I do a lot of Omaha high-low split though. That's my best game probably. But 1-2 no limit and 3-6 or 4-8 limit are my primary games. I said for the no limit, like I said, play very few hands, try to make great hands and win decent sized pots with them. If I can win 1 or 2 big pots in a session, 4-hour session, then I'm happy. And I tend not to lose big pots with inferior hands. Colony happiness skill level. Good. 70% through toward interceptors. We really need to start looking at, of course, we've kind of maxed out on our research, aren't we? We are. I probably do need to build another high-tech research station just because we're going to need it here in the near future. Do I have a free construction ship? No, they're all busy right now, although I've got one set to refuel, so I'll set him to build a rebuild this high-tech construction. I think it was here. No. Where's my high-tech site? That's weapons research. Do you have a research center there? Weapons research queued for that. There should be a high-tech here somewhere. There it is, high-tech. So we'll queue both of those. Okay, we've got a war that has ended. The Kiadians and the Kashudan domain. Okay, so our empire is finally starting to take shape. Yeah, now with this particular galactic map, 0.7 for a sector range might be a bit painful because there's so many large, gaps in here. It might be kind of painful. Hey, we found Otadian Opal at Shandar 1. That's the one that we invaded and took over from the pirates. Speaking of invading and taking over from the pirates, let's see what our battle looks like here. Okay, so this time we outnumber them by a significant amount. So I think we should be able to manage to get this done. Even with their when their bonus pops in, they only jump to 95,000 versus my. So I've got tripled their number. We should be able to destroy these. He's got 4 leaders here. Is that what this is? Or is this native Shandars that he's coercing to? Oh. What happened there? One of our resort locations was sabotaged, but it doesn't say by who. This is the one thing I've never been able to figure out is try to figure out who's doing the sabotage of my stations. So we'll have to go rebuild that eventually. Oh, look at this. We got a huge bonus income this year. 9 months through the year. What's our bonus income coming from? Mostly from Spaceport, though we did pick up 7K from our various resort locations as well. Okay, let's see if we can't finally... Now, obviously, he's got 3 facilities here, so we're going to have to do this a couple times, but if we keep our troop count high, we should be able to do it back-to-back consecutive attacks, I think. We're not going to take this colony location right now. We've got enough to do. Well, yeah, but you've got counter-espionage for a reason. I've been caught. My agents have been caught in the past, and they know that I've done it. So it's certainly possible for me to catch them. It's just I just never seem to have success actually catching them. I think I take that back. I think I have caught them one time and figured out who it was. Because obviously, if I send us intelligence missions out and get caught, that race picks up a negative diplomatic bonus against me and retaliates in some way. I need to have that capability too. Yeah, we're going to win this fight easily. And like I said, hopefully we'll be able to destroy all 3 facilities here. I don't know if this will wipe the Corsairs out completely. I suspect it will, because they only had 2 ships last we checked, and didn't seem to be able to build anymore, which argues for the fact that they have no spaceports. It could be. It could also be that the races that are doing it just have superior intelligence. I don't have any intelligence bonus with my race. Construction. Oh, shoot. Construction has been set back in an explosion. That's another one. And we have eradicated the Corsairs. Okay. From our colony of the Shendar in a battle that has destroyed all of their pirate facilities. Okay, so we didn't just destroy one facility in that, we destroyed them all. What were we building there? We were building just a base mining station here. So this argues for the fact that it's probably one of these Eastern empires that are doing this, because there's very little pirate activity here. So he's got to go off for some more materials in order to get that done. In fact, this one's in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. So, interesting. So let's take a look. We've eradicated... evidently, they still have a presence of sorts somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. So, yeah, there are no more facilities there. Good, good, good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick my troops up. At least, I don't need all those troops there anymore, so we're going to load those troops and get ready for another mission somewhere. We don't know where yet, that's fine. We've got our defense base. Now we can build our spaceport. We'll build, do we have a, let's take a look at our designs of spaceports. We're just going to go with the small here, I think. And we never redesigned a small spaceport, so we're going to go auto upgrade first, and then we're going to go in and manually upgrade and take a look and make sure it has everything I want on it. When you auto upgrade a design, it'll take your existing design of a type and any technology that is an improvement of the same type. For instance, a basic warp drive will be replaced by a JRX warp drive. A basic basic reactor will be replaced by a fission reactor if you have those techs. But it won't add any components that didn't already exist. So since this particular spaceport hadn't been upgraded ever before, it didn't have any shields or armor or energy collectors. So none of those things were added. My cargo bays were upgraded to the current tech. The fuel cells were upgraded to the current tech, and the reactor was upgraded to the current tech, and that's really about it. Weapons were upgraded to the current type because they had seeker missiles on it. Now the guns were not, because I don't have an improvement tech to the long-range gun, i.e. I haven't researched rail gun yet. So we're going to pull the rail guns off, or the long-range guns off. We don't need those. It's got a base firepower of 142 right now. We're going to just add Maxos blasters probably for a small spaceport. That's really all I really need. I'm not even going to worry about graviton beams. Oops. Or tractor beams for that matter. Graviton... Maxos blaster, there we go. So we'll go to 150 firepower, that's fine. I'm not going to add fighter base to the small spaceport, so I'll add those, consider adding them to medium and large. I have them on large already. We'll consider adding them to the medium. We'll add a couple energy collectors. We'll add shields and armor. 1800 shields for a small, probably good. 250 armor. And we're going to add some point defense is the only other thing I'm going to add, I think. Oh, med bay. We want med center and rec center. These will improve the happiness of the people and the planet that it is orbiting. And there's just a few research on each one. That is fine. And for the small, I'm not going to bother with construction yards more than... Actually, I'm not going to bother... Do I want to bother about construction yards at all? Let me think about this for a minute. Have a good day. Thanks for joining. And I will be back tomorrow. Again, I'm going to go through the end of this next autosave, which is probably about 30 minutes out. And then tonight when I get home, I'll get these cut up and posted on YouTube in hour or so segments. I got it set on a 1 hour autosave, so 1 hour segments on YouTube is probably going to be good. for a small spaceport, do I want to worry about construction? I guess I will. No, you know what? Blah, blah, blah. I'm tossed up here. We'll leave that as is for now. What's the resources required for a construction yard? Steel and carbon fiber. Yeah, we don't have a problem with those. Okay, we'll leave this design as is. We'll save it. Spaceport Mark III. And we will build a small spaceport here. We haven't upgraded our medium spaceport yet. We have until we go to a point where we're going to actually plop a medium spaceport down. I'm not going to worry about it. There'll be too many tech increases between now and then. So, we are starting to expand. We are officially, I didn't see the pop-up. I don't know if there was one or not. We are officially out of the Age of Shadows. Either when we built our first colony ship or when we actually planted our first colony via colony ship, we officially left the Age of Shadows. We are now in the Classic Age. There's a new empire up there. Was that a... That's a standard empire, not a pirate faction. So that is about 25 empires now. Explore nearest unexplored. Okay, Blood Raiders managed to escape our forces after successfully destroy the mining base. Okay, so that time we actually did know who accomplished it. It is the Blood Dagger Raiders, and he destroyed one of my mining stations. Let's see if we can find out where that station is. See if it'll pop up here. It doesn't because it's no longer under our control. I suspect it was up here. It is. That was our gas station up here, wasn't it? Asean Junction. No, this isn't the Asean Junction. This is the Iconium Miner System. Okay, well, I'm not sure where that mining station was. In the meantime, our troop transports have... oh, there it is. It was that one up there. Darn you. Okay, but we do know it was the Blood Daggers, so let's take a look at and see what our relationship is with them and see where they are if we can find them. I think they were one of the pirates that I was thinking about targeting anyway. Oh, that's the ones that stole the... is that the ones that stole the... potentially stole that... whatchamacallit? Planet Buster? I think it is. No, it was the purple guys, wasn't it? That's Dark Salvage. That's Fierce Mining. I'm not sure where the Blood Raiders are. We might have to do an espionage mission against them and see if we can steal their operations map so we can see where they are. I think my agent came back, didn't he? Oh, our counter espionage is up to 18%. That's improved a bit. Blood Dagger Raiders steal operations map. No. Steal territory map, 70%. Ugh, that's ugly. Destroy base. We know where one of their bases are. 57%. That won't work. Sabotage construction. We can do that. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I really don't want to tie him up for long because I don't have enough intelligence agents to go around. I guess we will retaliate by sabotaging construction at a place. It's going to be done in a year probably, but well, we'll give it a try. He's destroying my bases. I will retaliate by doing the same with him. Exchange... no, I'm not going to pay for any more civilization contact at this point. 75%, almost 80% through to the tech that will give us carriers. We got a new trait tolerant for our ambassador. That's probably good. Plus 10 to trade income and diplomacy. Good, good, good. Let's see if we can do a free trade with the Quantimo. It's these guys over here to our left. We have an ambassador over there now. They're pleased with us. They respect our good reputation. They like our government. They're slightly envious of our power. Will you take a free trade agreement? Nope, not quite yet. In the meantime, the Akurus have posed trade sanctions on us. That's these guys up here, it looks like. Yeah, okay, no big deal. I don't care. You can keep your trade goods. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to try to destroy the bases over here. Oh well, can't do it now. My intelligence agent is busy for a year. Okay, I have two transports that are loaded with troops. I'm going to spread them out, and I'm going to put some over here. Just in case if he starts building a second facility there, I'm going to have to do something about it. I don't think he's going to mess with me too much at this point. He's not been hostile all game. And that fleet doesn't need to stay there. Let's centralize him. Let's put Fleet 1 back in our home fleet, and Fleet 2 we'll put up in this colony up here. Actually, yeah, there's a facility you'll have to research first that you can build, which will improve your ability to get intelligence agents. Pop's growth skill level increase. Destroyer requires refueling. That's fine. You are that's one of the ones that we just captured. New Empire. That's fine. Where's our frigate in the meantime? This one needs to be retired at nearest shipyard, and we'll do that one first, and then we'll do the second frigate. If I remember correctly, we caught 2 frigates, 2 destroyers, and a cruiser in that minefield up there. So it'll take a little bit of time. You'll see as it docks, all components are normal right now on that ship. Eventually you'll see unbuilt components as it gets disassembled, and when it's completely disassembled, we will get a tech boost somewhere. And we got a lot of areas where we can get tech boosts. Yes, that's what I'm working on here. My culture is growing here, and as I got more planets over here, and I get more planets within my own system, my culture will eventually be enough of a threshold that they will flip over to me. The first colony I obtained actually happened that way. It was the end of my very first play session, and I actually missed it because I was going over some of the victory screens and everything with other people, and I completely missed it. And when I logged on day 2 of the game, it's like, where'd this second colony come from? And I had to look, and they actually became culturally assimilated to me and became part of my empire. I'm hoping to do that with this empire that started out right next to me as well. And these borders are our cultural borders here, cultural influence. So I'm growing fairly significantly, and eventually there'll come a point where I hope to be able to culturally flip them. Another new empire, the Your Territory. That's empire number 26. And remember, I started this game with only 19 empires in, so we have a lot of independent colonies becoming empires. They've got 5 colonies. They're insectoid as well. They're annoyed with us because of that same thing we start with all new races. Ignorance of our strange alien ways causes us to distrust you. Minus 25 bonus penalty. That will eventually go away. They also have, that's something we haven't looked at in a while. They have Carabian Spice, which they refuse to trade with us. Let's see if anybody else has anything other than that territory to our east, which we know about. And it'll show up down here. They have, that's these guys here with the Loros fruit, which they got from underneath our construction ship. We had a construction ship headed that way. The Ancient Guardians are the the storyline race, which starts right next to us. They refuse to trade with us right now, but they're very friendly with us. They might eventually get to the point where they'll trade with us. Caribbean Spice, that's some territory or empire we just found. So there's 2 Loros fruit and 1 Caribbean Spice out there right now that we know about. Diplomatic relation change. They lifted their trade sanctions. Colony location. No, we're not going to take any more colony locations at the moment. They want to offer us protection. Lone Star Clan, they want us to pay 330 per. What would I be defending against? 154 ships and 7,000 firepower. That's pretty hefty. I'm going to decline at this moment, and I'm going to start declining all of those unless they are in our sphere of influence and likely to attack. I can always, if they send a fleet down that I can't handle, I can always negotiate at that point. Okay, 85%. We will have carrier designs soon. 53%. Now we've crash constructed. Oh no, we've completed component prefab. We can actually build a crew. Wait a second, I'm confused. Don't we have size 300 ships already? We do. Okay. For some reason, I thought I was working on a new ship size, but I'm working on damage control instead. Maybe new ship size will be queued up after that. Now, when I do carriers, right now I'm limited to 300 ship size. However, carriers get a native 50% bonus to their ship size, so I can actually build a size 450 carrier. Research bonus and enhanced hyperdrives from disassembling the advanced technology. Nah, that's not what I was hoping for, but you can't control that. Enhanced hyperdrives probably almost nearly completed the research in that tree without actually starting research in it. So I'm going to queue that for the next one to go. That will improve our existing hyperdrives, improve the speed from 5 to 15,000, and take a little bit more energy usage, however, and they can actually enter jumps faster. It takes 15 seconds to enter hyperspace now. Drops it down to 13 seconds when I complete that tech. And again, that's an improvement that will automatically be added to the ships when I complete it. It's like a software upgrade as opposed to a hardware change. How is our colony ship doing? Our new colony ship that we started building. I'm cycling through my surveyors and colony ships. All components normal. It's built. Okay, we're going to colonize another planet in our own system. There were 2 of them available for colonization. And this one here gives me a 17% development bonus for the colony on being built there. So we're going to take that one right now. And then eventually we'll move over and take this one as well. That one's got a scenery bonus. That's got a quality of 85. So both of these planets, they're small, 20,000, and I didn't see what the size of this one was, 18,000. So we're looking about 6 billion people and 6 to 8 billion people on both of those planets, I do believe. Colony ship. It won't take long to plant this colony. And we'll queue up another colony ship for the other in-system colony location. Construction yard. Colony ship. Again, you can only build colony ships at colonies. You cannot build them in spaceports floating in space. They're too large. Same thing with construction ships. Okay, we've got a colossal quake in the Prism Nation. That's these guys that we're actually doing espionage against on and off. That was the first empire with multiple colonies. They invaded. I suspect they invaded a colony up here to get their first colony. But they were the first empire with a second colony. So they were considered for the longest time my chief rival. Now there's a lot of rivals. Okay, we got a new ship captain. He's on an escort class ship. He's got a repair bonus. We're going to move him to one of the captured ships, or the ships that we found and rebuilt. We'll go with the Crimson Trap. Sounds like a good one. I'm not sure which ship in this fleet that is, whether it's the cruiser class or... it's a frigate. That's not a good one for him to move to, because the frigate's going to be disassembled as well. So instead of the Crimson Cap, any of the other ones, Elusive Starwind, Devious Chariot. I guess I could have kept this open and figured it out right here. Immortal Shield, Devious Chariot is the cruiser. Okay, that's a good one for him to go to. It had damage control on it, and he has a damage control bonus, so... Okay, another colony should be plopped down here shortly. Pirates offering contact. No, I've had enough. I've got too many colonies to keep track of right now. They want to give me money. Thank you. I will take money. And there's our colony ship approaching the planet. The planet already has a mining station on. That mining station will essentially be disassembled, and the components put into the cargo bay of the colony once it's planted. So we are now 38 years into this game. Again, it has a potential of ending at any time after year 50 as far as just races achieving victory conditions. I'm sure nobody is near... They need to hit this 80% threshold, and there's 4 different areas: economic, population, colonial territorial control, and then racial specific bonuses. Our racial specific bonuses are have the happiest population in the galaxy. We're 100%. We are the happiest. Control 33% of all volcanic colonies. We've got 55% of that 33%. So right now there are 4 volcanic. We have 4 volcanic colonies, which is 18%. We're about ready to pop down number 5, which will take us to about 22%, and that will raise the overall racial victory to about 62% or so. We also have to mine the... Okay, we need to get a move on. We need to mine the most luxury resources. We're not anywhere near that. And then we have to build the Lava Palace Resort 1, which is at the end of the tech tree. There's our colony. And we are immediately going to go with a defense station there. Cancel that. You want to click out off planet a little bit just so your defense bases aren't overlapping the planet. My spaceports I'll generally put on the planet or overlapping the planet, but the defense bases I like out where I can actually see them in a massive battle. So we should have about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes left before it hits a save point, I think, and that will be the end of the stream for the day. One minute. Let me check the phone here. Okay, anything happened while I was out checking? We have a troop transport attacking an exploration ship. That's an interesting battle. I got away and it didn't look like I was boarded, but looks like I took some damage there. We did, however, also find the stone nexus of Kudbende Minor and sit at the center of a shadowy starlit plain. Let's investigate. And we got another G3 coordinate. Blech. We've seen that before. Might mean there's multiple items up there. There's an abandoned destroyer damaged with a bunch of the Bhaskaran hive up there. I don't think I can get a construction ship over there. They're kind of out in the middle of nowhere too. They had a bad starting location, it looks like. These guys had a bad starting location, but they've managed to do well for themselves. These guys are all clumped up here, so we're going to start seeing some battles, some galactic war, Newsnet wars announced over here, I suspect. Maybe here, but they've got a little bit of room. But yeah, right now the biggest concentration of multiple empire types seems to be over here on the western border. Oh, I wanted to go to that exploration ship. Okay, it's already set to repair. Was one of these other ones damaged? All components normal, all components normal. Oh, these are construction ships, never mind. Let's go to my exploration ships. All components normal, you need to refuel. All components normal. You've got no mission. Okay, I'm going to start automating the rest of my exploration ships, I think. Okay, you're damaged, so I'm going to send you to repair. You're damaged. You've got one component damaged. What's damaged? If it's not an important component, I generally don't worry about it. You can take a look over here at your components, and there's one damage. It's the command center. Of course it's the command center. Let's see if we can get it back for repair, which is going to limit its ability to do anything. And the nice thing about this is, okay, I've got something somewhat local. Refuel. Your ships will refuel at the nearest friendly refueling port. That's friendly being anything you're not actively hostile with. So when I go to refuel, it could have come back here to one of these. I will pay a fuel cost. By the same token, I have people, other factions stopping at my bases and paying me a fuel fee as well. So you can there is a way to actually prohibit that. I think prohibit others from using your bases to refuel, but I think maybe you can only do that by becoming hostile with a faction. I forget. Okay, so it's finished refueling. They want to do another territory map swap, no problem. So I need to pick another mission for you, and I don't know if I want to. Okay, we need to start getting some luxury resources. So we're going to come up here. There's 2 luxury resources up here, Danthopher and Wiconium, and they're both at one location. So we're going to go ahead and start a build a mining base up there. We'll start getting our luxury resource income improved. 91%, 93%. So here by maybe the end of the calendar year, we'll have access to carriers, and then we will see what we can do for a carrier design. Our cash flow is down to 2,600. Okay, we need to take a look at that. We've got some new colonies. They're at tax rate of 0. That's fine. I prefer that to be the case. Okay, this is maxed out at 4.8 billion people. I think quality might also have an impact on max population. I'm not sure. The planet size is 18.6. This planet size is 20.1, and they have about the same population cap. Oh, we have Quantumos. We have a... Okay, here's something interesting. Let me take a look at all of mine real quick. That's all Shandar. That's Shandar and some Quantumo, which is going to be actually pretty interesting. That must have been the pirate faction, I'm guessing. Because we have Quantumo as part of our empire, we have a couple options. Over here under population, if they're the same family, I'm set to assimilate them. If they are other races, I'm currently set to assimilate them. Let's see what the Quantumo are. They would be part of the Quantumo. Okay. They are gifted scientists, which means they have a faster research bonus. They are an amphibian, which is not the same family as me. So I could choose to do something else with them. I could choose to either export them, enslave them, exterminate them, resettle them. But because I'm kind of a peaceful type people, I'm set to assimilate them. Once I assimilate them, I will get a bit of their research bonus. Let's see if it's showing here. I don't think it is showing here right now. No. But because they're gifted researchers, I will eventually pick up a research bonus, a small one, maybe 5 or 10% to my research, based on having them as part of my empire. And they're growing at 2.9%, but I am at max population, so they're really not growing right now. So what else was max? That was max. So, and it automatically set my tax rate at 45%. That's because they were colonies that I want that research bonus. I don't want to exterminate them, and I'm playing a more peaceful type race right now. I'll exterminate pirates. I don't want to necessarily exterminate the other races. I want to peacefully incorporate them into a galactic empire that spans 225 sectors. Now, if they refuse to peacefully coexist or become part of my empire, then I might have to change my mind. I really can't afford to lower my tax rate either. I'm going to lower it to 40. This isn't maxed out, but they do have 4 billion people, so I will raise their taxes to about 15 for now. They're maxed out 35%, so we'll see what that does to our cash flow here. That should give us a bit of a boost to our cash flow, which is bordering on negative based on my ship and troop maintenance right now. I might even disband some troops for a bit. Okay, that took us up to 10k. We've got Otandian Opal at our colony Mauritium 2. That is one of the ones that we colonized. Yeah, that's the one we just colonized. So it started with just Necrostone and Aculon. Now it already has Otadian Opal, which is one of the rare, very rare luxury resources. So that's good. Now, like I said, that's just the way this is starting out. It may change. We have investigated the frigate Great Scourge and finished it. We will go ahead and send it to... Looks like my construction ships have an upgrade. I guess I'll send it to retrofit. And the frigate we will retire and hopefully pick up some tech. Before it gets there, I'm going to change my research around very slightly. I'm going to cancel damage control and try to finish off enhanced hyperdrive, and then we will put damage control back in the queue. That way I don't spend retrofit on completing something that I'm going to have done momentarily anyway. How much? 8,000 to crash research. It will even boost it a little bit more. So by the time it gets back to a station, I should have the enhanced hyperdrives done, and maybe we'll get the new hyperdrive research started. Or looky here, 95% to carriers. Pretty sure that's the last tech I need to make a decent carrier here. Construction ships are all busy. Exploration ships. There's our enhanced hyperdrive. So all of our hyperdrives got an automatic boost to speed now. And take a look at our designs real quick. It shouldn't require any change to our reactor loadout either. They're still at max speed capability, speed capability. So yeah, we don't have to change anything. All of my ships now got a 250 speed boost automatically to hyperspace speed. Civilian and military ships alike, as long as they have a Garrix hyperdrive mounted. Okay, we will possibly see our carrier design before the end of the session here. Let's see, we have a colony ship being built, right? Still have one colony here. Okay, we have successfully evaded detection after having successfully sabotaged construction at the Abraxas Major 3. I wonder if we can see where that is. Would be nice to know where he's building. Yeah, I'm not seeing it show up on the map. There may be a way to actually find a colony. I haven't actually dug into it. I'll do that between now and the next session, or like a find province in the EU4 CK2. I think that capability exists, but I'm not going to spend time looking for it right now with the stream coming to an end here shortly. If somebody is online next time I run, if I don't answer that question, make sure you ask and I'll look it up and see. I'm sure there's got to be a way with something this big. Construction yard. That guy. 40, almost 50% complete with that colony ship. Let's see. Are you any bigger yet, Garns? Nope, not yet. Okay, I have construction ships going out. That one's building the luxury mining thing. This one's unautomated. I wonder what you're doing up here. You are building a mining station way up here at a place where there is already a mining station. Good for you. Probably wasn't there when it started the mission. I'll cancel that mission. It's not going to do you any good. Oh, looks like he just turned around maybe. Hey, we found an abandoned cruiser adrift in the Horizon. Investigate the ship. We have investigated an abandoned cruiser, the outcast of Horicani Major at the desert planet Horicani Major in the Horicani Major system in F-15. It appears to be in good working order. We have boarded it and taken control. We can disassemble it or we can keep it. It also has, guess what, G3. And I don't know if we're getting this description multiple times because there's multiple items in G3 worth investigating, or if it's just a random occurrence. Anyway, let's take a look at it and see what our new cruiser looks like. And we're not going to disassemble this, I'm relatively certain. You can see right now that it's bigger than anything we can build. We do have a size 400. We did get a size increase in there. I thought we had researched it. So we can build what I call a cruiser class now, and our carrier can be size 600. There's a warning that we need more life and HAP modules. That's because at its current design, and we can't do anything about it. We can't add any to it. The reason is they were advanced tech. They had a higher crew component research tech when they whatever race this was designed this ship, so they didn't need as many crew quarters per ship size as I currently do. But I am getting that research done now. Anyway, they have ion cannon, Terminator autocannons, which are one of those mass driver types that I was talking about later in the tree. Titan beams, velocity shards, and high power tractor beam. Firepower of 308, not bad. What type of, they have Tassilo shields, shield rating of 780 and a recharge of 4.8. Armor of 360. Look at the countermeasures. 40% countermeasures, 40% targeting, and they also have fleet targeting and countermeasures capability. Fusion reactors, which are slightly above what I have right now, and where's their engines? Multi-vector. I don't see their fusion, whatever. Damage control unit, energy collector. So they only have one energy collector on theirs. I think I only have one on my ships as well. Quantum engines, so very advanced engines as well. Thrust of 1230. That's twice the power of the thrusters on my current design capability, I do believe. Anyway, we're going to put him in our... we'll put him in our defense fleet for now. And we'll send you to refuel at nearest right now. In the meantime, you are set to build a mining station. We've also found a ruins here, which looks like we just beat an exploration ship too. And nothing of interest there. Okay. No big deal. That's on the outskirts of our current cultural influence too. There's our tactical interceptors. Okay, carrier time. They want to swap territory maps. Do they have... They've got a little bit of expansion here. Their cultural influence is bubbled out just slightly from this little arc here as they plop that planet down. Okay, let's go into ship design. And evidently, yeah, No, for the carrier, I'm going to just start it from scratch. We might just manually use the existing cruiser design for a cruiser class. Okay, against stronger opponents, we're going to go with a standoff. Against weaker opponents, we're going to go with a standoff. Carrier is not a close-in weapon fighter. They're not going to bother with invasion. They will flee when their shields are at 50%. Start off as standard. We're going to add our command center. And if this autosaves in the middle of the design, I am going to complete the design and then resave it. We'll add our fission reactor. And we're going to need at least 2 of them. I'm going to do this very slightly differently. I'm going to want my hyperdrive repaired next, and my fighter bays next. Now, being a carrier, it can be 50% bigger than my standard largest build size, which right now it looked like it's 400, so I can build a 600 size ship. But 40% of the carrier has to be fighter bays. So we're going to add our fighter bays next before we add our shields and our engines. So if I can get fighter bays repaired, then they will be able to defend the ship. Let's see, I forget what I was using as my standard squadron size. I think 12 ships I was using as my standard squadron size. So there's 1 squadron, there's 2 squadrons. Let's add our shields. I'm going to want a fairly decent shielding on this. But I might have to pull some off here as I get other components added. It's going to be very lightly armored. We need some engines and point defense. Yeah. It's about as good as I'm going to be able to do there. Let's add some point defense, and we need hab and life support as well. Let's get the hab and life support on. We'll add a med center. Med centers will help your larger ships. Rapid healing for any troops on board the ships. If you have troops like defensive troops for anti-boarding purposes. So my larger ships I tend to put 1 med center on. Having more than 1 doesn't do anything other than giving you backup if 1 is destroyed. And fuel. We need to make sure this has fuel range, unlike the colony ship that I built. Range of 5.5 sectors. I think we'll leave it at that for now. We still have a little bit of room, so we're going to add point defense and maybe a that gives me just a little bit of room. We'll probably add a couple long range the concussion missiles. We can't add too many of them. I have 17 points free if I've got my calculations right. You know what? We're not going to put any weapons on. We're just going to leave it with point defense. Because it's not going anywhere by itself anyway. That's 5 point defense. That leaves me room for 14. We'll add another engine and get the speed up a little bit. I put 2 engines on. I have exactly enough room for 2 engines. Okay, cast off military ship, and this is a carrier, so we'll call this the Canterbury. Okay, let's take a quick look. All of the warnings are cleared. Size of 600. I'm pretty sure that is max. Yes, cannot build. So our max size is 400, as I had thought it was. It's got a med bay, no research, no mining, no manufacturing or construction, no docking bays, which is fine. It's got room for 2 squadrons of fighters, which is 24 fighters or bombers. It's got point defense, got no real firepower. It's got an excess energy of 77. We only need 37. Shielding of 720 with recharge of 2.4. Armor of 100. And it's only got a boarding defense strength of 112. That might be a little small, and we may have to change this a little bit. Or when we get our next ship size and we retrofit this, we'll just make sure we bump that boarding strength by adding some more HAB modules. At this point, it's not going anywhere in a vacuum. It's going to certainly be the centerpiece of my fleets. So we now have our first carrier, and we're going to immediately go into my 2 primary colonies and build one of each for one of each of my fleets. That's not the primary colony, this is. We're going to go and build a new ship or base, and it's going to be a... Oh, I can't do it that way. That's one thing I can't do that way. Okay. This way into the construction yard and go and build a... That's the colony. That's why I need the spaceport. That's why I couldn't do it this way. Build a new ship or base. Here we go. Exploration, troop transport, capital ship, cruiser, destroyer, frigate, escort. The carrier isn't showing on the list. Okay, we'll do it this way then. There it is. Carrier. Cost me 5,000 credits for each one. Okay, so that will be the end of the stream. I'm going to go ahead and build the second. I'll do a quick design of the cruiser since we have that capability. I'm going to build one each of these carriers. Design the cruiser real quick, and we'll do that the quick way. We're just going to edit the existing design of that class. I really should hold off on the cruiser because I don't have the weapon that I want on it, I don't think. So, you know what? No, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold off on the cruiser until my next research is done. So we'll build these, get these 2 ships queued up to build. Make sure I have research queued up as well, and then resave and call it quits for the day. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. Certainly happy to have everybody along. Those of you that are trying to wrap your minds around the game that may have purchased it already, I hope some of the explanations have helped. Again, for those that might have caught this midstream that are trying to comprehend it, you might go back to either mine or Larry Monty's YouTube videos, or catch one of the other streamers. Who did I say it was? What's his name? Who will be picking this up maybe tonight. I don't know if he's streaming this tonight or if he's streaming his CK2 game, but it's a Gameologist has been streaming this as well. Let me make sure I spelled that right. Gameologist. Yeah, he's streaming it as well the last couple nights, so he might be picking his continuation up. Okay, good. Yeah, I caught the chunk of his last night. I signed off before he did, so I wasn't sure what his plans were for today. He had been talking about both this and see. Did he start a new game? He had kind of hit a head against the wall at the end of when I watched the end of his last session. I think he had kind of hit his head against a wall against one of the factions and lost his spaceport. So he had been talking about doing a new, starting a new one, possibly today if he didn't go back to his CK2. So, but he's got a lot of knowledge. And again, Larry Monty or my YouTube videos, and there's probably others out there as well that can help explain things. This series is going to be on start to finish. I I think I lost my actual game setup for this game, setting up the game. So my first video is actually starting at my first colony and probably had my first spaceport built, but that was really about it. So you'll be able to follow this from beginning to end even if you can't catch it live. And I try to cover all the topics, and obviously I'm answering questions out there, showing off things. Okay, it looks like I've got research going on. Armored, improved assault, so I'm getting my assault, planetary assault type stuff done. This one here, armored ground assault, will allow me to build my first planetary facility, the armored factory, giving me armored troops. Over here I've got damage control queued, and then we'll finish our hyperdrive inhibiting, and then finally over here we've got enhanced storage, coordinated control, which will lower my ship maintenance, proximity sensors and long range sensors. So that one's well queued up. I'm still at max potential for my Empire research right now, although my high tech is lagging a little bit. I'll have to adjust that a little bit. I did not, because I need to try to replicate it before I actually report it. I have seen the issue on Steam, so it's not a first time thing. I just want to know how to replicate it before I report it. And it might actually have made the matrix forms already as well. Yep. I know the bug you're talking about. No, I haven't reported it because, again, until I can actually replicate it, and I think I know how he did it, what he did to trigger it, and I need to go in and try to actually replicate it before I actually report it. I'd like to let them know how it happens rather than, hey, fix this, if I can. And we wanted to build a carrier here as well. And again, this will be the end for the day. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope to see some of you around again. Again, I'll be picking this up more tomorrow. We've made it quite far. It took us 36, 37 odd years, but we finally finished colonization and have actually planted colonies. We have expanded fairly well, although we are limited in our current expansion areas right now. There's nothing out there free. I might be able to steal a colony up here. It's within their influence, so that would make them unhappy with us, but anywhere we go right now will make them unhappy. What was the native we should be able to theoretically, since they're amphibians and they are now part of our race, once they're fully assimilated, let's see what their native yeah, their native type of planet is actually an ocean moon. So once they're fully assimilated into our culture, we should be able to colonize ocean planets as well. I'm not sure how long it'll take for the assimilation process. So that's something to possibly look forward to. That will open up a range of possibilities for us. Just tag the name that I posted in the chat to the end of the twitch.tv, and that'll take you there. I have links disabled right now, so, and I'm not going to go in and enable it right at this moment for that purpose. Just tag the gameologist name that I linked up above to the in place of my name in the Twitch TV, and you'll find it. But again, that is it for the day. Again, thank you everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Those that are looking for more of this game, hop on over to Gameologist's channel. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. I'm going to open his channel really quick because I think he might have started a new game, so he might be in the very early game himself. Let me see what comes up on his channel while I'm saving this.
You've stayed with us for 14 years.
While I'm finishing this save here. Again, thanks for joining, everybody. I catch the YouTube updates for those that might have missed the earlier sessions or even the earlier portion of this session. It is a few hours, so you'll have plenty of viewing pleasure, or maybe not pleasure, depending on how you view the channel. And I hope to see you all again in the future. Again, I will be back tomorrow for another 3 or 4 hours of this, and probably a couple hours of something else as well. In the meantime, have a great day, everybody.